Hello everyone, Dominic here with Gross University, an industry-leading sales trainer. I appreciate you tuning in for another educational webinar. This is one of the more exciting webinars we've ever done as we get to take a deeper dive into this MetalView program that Gross University is honored to be a part of, and specifically interviewing one of the key players of this MetalView program. I have the honor and privilege of sitting down with Heidi Ellsworth, who's the president of the RoofersCoffeeShop and also the MetalCoffeeShop, which is a really important element of our MetalView program we have through the Sherwin-Williams Coil Coatings division. And we have a really great conversation as we're speaking about how we provide services to our clients and how we both work together to help this program succeed. We realize that there's a lot of information that we'd love to be able to share with our viewers and a lot of different things specifically pertaining to this Gross University metal roofing program and the MetalView program as a whole. It would be really appropriate for us to go ahead and tee up a webinar where we can truly take a deep dive into what this program all entails and of course how Gross University fits into this program to give contractors the training they need to succeed. And that's ultimately, in a nutshell, what we're trying to do here is provide literally everything a contractor would need to get into metal roofing, have everything readily available right at their fingertips, from products to service to training and technology, and ultimately make it one of the most successful business ventures they've ever attempted. And with this program, it's proving to accomplish just that. It's becoming one of the fastest growing dealer networks in the history of this industry as far as I know. And again, we're just honored to be a part of it. So I'm really excited to have this conversation, Heidi. I just want to thank you for your time. I know you got a lot going on, especially doing a lot of these types of shows and events. But if you don't mind, Heidi, if you just want to take a minute, explain a little bit about your background, how you founded the Roofers Coffee Shop, and ultimately how your career took you into evolving into this new Metal Coffee Shop program that we're working on together.
First of all, I want to say thank you, Dominic. I'm so happy to be here. I'm doing these kind of webinars. I think it's really important because we're doing something a little revolutionary between all of us. And so it's important to be able to get the information out. I hope everybody watching this, get ready, hold on, because metal is hot and there is so much out there for your business to grow selling metal roofing and siding. It's pretty incredible right now. But again, thank you. My name is Heidi Ellsworth. I'm the owner of Roofers Coffee Shop and Metal Coffee Shop. And as Dominic said, it started 20 years ago. Roofers Coffee Shop actually was launched in 2002, before Facebook, before a lot of these, that we're very familiar with today. But the lady who launched it, Vicki Sharples, saw a real need for an online community for contractors. And so that's really what Roofers Coffee Shop is. It's an online community, and we work every single day to bring the information that contractors need for their business, whether you're exterior contractors, metal roofing contractors, overall roofing contractors, it doesn't matter. We bring all that information. And so last year, working with Sherwin-Williams, we really saw that need for metal. There is so much happening in metal, and we have so many different types of metal contractors who are installing roofs, building metal buildings, putting on siding. And then we have all of these exterior contractors, like many of the Grosso contractors, who are looking to get into metal. So Dominic, that's what we did. It was really looking at the need of the contractors, the need for information. And so after 20 years of Roofers Coffee Shop, we launched in the summer of 2022 Metal Coffee Shop, and it's just growing like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not surprising. I mean, metal as a whole is something that more homeowners than ever before are curious about and are considering. It's just there really hasn't been the right platform for a contractor to really grab onto to launch this properly. Because unfortunately, what I've been seeing personally in the industry is where a contractor maybe offers asphalt roofing and maybe they're a price competitor and they're kind of used to just going into the house and giving them some brief information and having attractive pricing to where it's pretty easy to sell jobs. And I also noticed that contractors are trying to sell metal that way. And the reality of metal is it's a much bigger ticket. There's more of an art form to be able to build value in a metal system. So that's thankfully why we got brought in, because really our specialty is taking contractors or sales professionals and showing them how to build enough value and not be so focused on the price, but selling the entire value proposition and making affordability really the only obstacle standing in the way. But yeah, we definitely see metal as being one of the fastest growing segments here. And I understand even the last couple of years alone that metal's taking over a bigger share of the market. Is that true?
Yes. I mean, right now, what we're looking at, a report just came out from the Metal Roofing Alliance, and metal has 17% of the roofing market share, 17%. And back in the late 90s, it was at 3%. Yeah. So it's been a huge growth for the metal roofing market, and that's just residential. So we're also seeing that same growth in commercial too. But it's not just the roofing and the siding, it's also metal buildings, gutters. I mean, there's so many things, so many different insulated panels that are coming out in the metal market, that I think the real driver on this, as when contractors are going into and looking at selling to homeowners, they really need to be thinking about sustainability, durability. Homeowners are researching and using Metal Coffee Shop and other sites like that, Metal Roofing Alliance, Grosso, to find out what is going to be best for their home long term. And if we aren't providing that through our contractors, they're going to go somewhere else. So that's why training, sales training, installation training for metal is so important.
Yeah, and having that network is so priceless that contractors can lean on, because the big thing I see with this whole MetalView program is it literally eliminates or significantly reduces the need for them to have to learn things through cost prohibitive trial and error. Lean on the people that are actively doing it every day and pick their brains and, be willing to network and share ideas with one another, and lean on experts that also have the background and the case studies and the history of doing these very things, growing successful sales teams. So you can plug into this and you know that you're in good hands. And that's why I love, especially with the MetalView, Sherwin-Williams being at the driver's seat. And it's such an honor to be a part of it. But certainly they're not going to surround themselves with any company or organization that's not dialed in, that's not polished, that's not able to provide that service to their clients. So yeah, and we'll get obviously more into the services we provide in this conversation. But yeah, I really think that's an amazing story. And again, you guys were definitely trailblazers in the beginning, founding the Roofers Coffee Shop. And we always like to think of ourselves that way too. We're willing to jump into things that haven't necessarily been done before and kind of blaze that new trail and give new opportunities for the contractors in this industry. So.
Well, one of the things I love that you did right off, Grosso just was like the first one to step up on when we were talking about MetalView, was you put together actual training, video training, where contractors who are getting involved in MetalView can go to Grosso and watch that overall, like, what is metal? How do you sell it? How do you get involved? How do you bring it into your business? I mean, I'd love for you to share more about that, because to me, that's what we need.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big fan of under-promising, over-delivering. So when I first started talking with Sherwin-Williams about this idea, and Sherwin-Williams Coil Coatings Division and Mark McDonald and all that, I initially agreed that I would make, around 3 to 5 training videos that contractors could see so they could get a better understanding on how to execute the retail sale in the home. Because that's kind of the notion, right? Is going away from, maybe a price competitor or maybe even a storm chaser to now these salespeople are going to be agents of influence that know how to execute a retail sale. Well, what I ended up doing is creating about a 24 video training series, the most comprehensive video training series we've ever built. And the reason why I did that is because I wanted to make sure that contractors and all the way down to the sales professionals that will be executing this stuff are literally going to know everything they need to know from the moment they wake up in the morning to the moment they close the sale and earn that client's business, everything in between, exactly how to deliver that masterful presentation and make the sale the natural conclusion. That's really what it's all about for me, is the close shouldn't be something where, I'm trying to sell a profitable roof and I have to high pressure or strong arm somebody to do it. With metal roofing, all the benefits of metal roofing are undeniable, and if a salesperson knows how to properly execute the sale, build the value, and get the homeowner to appreciate the value, the only obstacle more often than not that stands in the way when you're trying to sell the job is affordability. That's really, when I train my salespeople, we're not there to sell on price. We're not there to high pressure anybody. first of all, they want to do it. They want to move forward. They're actually eager to do it. Really, all it boils down to more often than not is just making it affordable. And that's how you know that the salesperson executed the step selling system the right way. And I'm really proud of what we built here. But the contractors that are subscribing to this now, the feedback is almost overwhelmingly positive. It's they've never seen anything like this been done before for the metal roofing industry specifically. So.
No, metal roofing is such an old world craft, beautiful form of roofing. And so we had so many, I would say, incredibly talented craftsmen and women who were through their businesses selling roofing, doing roofing, and it was more of the homeowners were requesting it. So when they requested it, they did it. Although you have some contractors who are just, that's all they do is metal. But what I love about what I'm seeing with MetalView and with Grosso is that we're really providing, and the whole system of the EagleView and the Passport is to be able to get more contractors into metal and be able to sell more, but not just sell more, install more in a very high performance manner. We've kind of missed that. And that is definitely changing.
Yeah, that's certainly one of the biggest fears companies had, even tackling this new venture with metal roofing, is the back end support. Trying to grow and scale the installation teams is really hard. I mean, it's harder than ever before to find labor, and metal is not like asphalt. Asphalt in the grand schemes of complexity is more simplified. You don't have to have a PhD to install an asphalt roof. However, metal, I mean, there's an art form to installing a metal roof the right way. And a lot of these companies, they knew that scaling the back end of the business would be a roadblock. And that's why I'm glad to be a part of this, because the thing I don't like doing is training all these people on how to go out there and sell more jobs, and then they have no means to put them on, because that's going to demoralize the team very quickly, and it makes everyone's kind of like they're spinning their wheels. So knowing that this program also provides that back-end support and the training and all those resources, it gives me all the faith in the world that, I can go full force at these contractors and teach them how to truly maximize the performance of their sales team, knowing that they're going to be taken care of in the back end.
I mean, you have to be able to deliver, right? If you aren't delivering that beautiful metal roof with all the warranties and all the important performance qualities, you're really going to you won't make another sale, right? Because word spreads. And so working with John Sheridan, with Sheridan Consulting, he's doing all kinds of training, installation training. John's worked with you at Grosso. He's doing, it's really bringing all the elements together. But I have to tell you, the one that just I always focus on too is I've been in metal and I've been in roofing for quite a while, and I was actually part of the startup of EagleView. And back in the day, contractors, if you ordered an EagleView and had a metal roof, you would still go out and measure it, because you just weren't sure you could get the cuts right. You're not sure what's going to happen. Today, through this Passport and EagleView and the MetalView program overall, today, your estimators, your salespeople can just order a report and get everything they need to bid it, to send out the proposal, to order the materials, to do the cuts, the whole 9 yards. So it's really, technology is making a big difference to these contractors on how they can get into metal roofing.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that stood out to me as I started learning more about the investments that were being made and how this technology was all coming together. The fact that through Roofing Passport, you can pull a report and literally you can get it down to every screw you need, every cut you need to make, down to an 1/18 of an inch or even more precise than that. I mean, it gives you all the confidence in the world to jump into this thing. And, talking about sales, I'm always in sales mindset. A salesperson going into the house with that type of data, with that type of information, is certainly going to build tremendous foundation of trust with those prospective clients. Because again, a lot of this stuff, these fly-by-night contractors going in there trying to sling metal, they don't have anything like this. So to have a proven sales methodology, to have all the data and the reports and all the 3D imagery, and if they have visualizers where they can, show the homeowner how it's going to look when they're done, this just reinforces. And of course, in the background, having that Sherwin-Williams brand behind there, obviously blowing in the wind, it doesn't hurt either. So this really arms the contractor and the salespeople with everything they need to make My opinion is you should be able to walk out earning their business more often than not, at the very least, with everything we're providing here. So.
Exactly. And what I really like too is, and like you said, that strong Sherwin-Williams brand is right there. And that is the folks, and we'll just say Mark McDonald, if you haven't met him yet, you probably will. He's amazing from Sherwin-Williams. And he's the one who's brought all of us together to really provide this overall training, ability to be able to sell more with Metal Coffee Shop, to be able to get all the information you need. And what I've kind of seen through that is that they have always kept the manufacturer's center, right? So as contractors get involved with MetalView, what happens is you get partnered with a manufacturer first. So you pick your metal manufacturer, there's a list of participating manufacturers, and then they come and work with you, right, Dominic? I mean, you guys are doing a lot with the manufacturers, not only training overall, but kind of training towards their products also.
Yeah, and if you talk to Mark McDonald, and I wholeheartedly agree, this program wouldn't exist if it weren't be for the participating manufacturers stepping up to the plate and making this happen, because ultimately they're the ones that do a lot of the heavy lifting and make a lot of the investment to make this possible. Yeah, so essentially what we did is, the video training series we created kind of gives 90% of what a contractor would need to execute the sale. And then down to the manufacturer level, certain participating manufacturers throughout the country are stepping up to the plate. And we're also delivering custom training specific to their panels, their products, their services, their exclusive unique features and benefits. So when a contractor onboards with a local participating manufacturer in their territory, they're going to have the ability to kind of structure the menu, what panels they're going to offer, how they're going to position the house. Some contractors maybe go like, hey, I just want to offer one panel and that's it. Some contractors maybe want a good, better, best system. So we customize it for the manufacturer, but then all the way down to the dealer level as a contractor, Grasso essentially follows this every step of the way to make sure the end user that sees this presentation, the prospective customer at the kitchen table, sees your company's story, your masterful product presentation, positioning the products and services that you want to sell exactly the way you want to sell them, and we give you all the tools to make that sale the easy part, right? So the foundational elements. So there's a lot of customization, but I'd say by the time we get down to the dealer level, the contractor level, 95% of the heavy lifting's already been done. And that's due to the stuff that Sherwin-Williams has, of course, invested in, and then these participating manufacturers. So that's the beautiful part about it.
Well, and what I like too is I want to go back to what you just said too about the contractors picking the systems that they want to sell. So there are a lot of contractors out there who may just say, you know what, I just want to do a metal tile roofs, right? And so you can train just on that. You can have your crews up and going. You can have your presentation all set that way. I think that's so important because there's a lot of different metal systems out there. And I think people get overwhelmed by that, but you're able to just get with the manufacturer, pick the one that really makes sense. One or three, good, better, best. I love good, better, best. And then get trained on it. And as we keep talking about this, we have installation training, we have sales training, but how important it is to also have the video content, Dominic, that you have for the entire company, because people are answering the phones, people are purchasing, they're working, they need this content.
Yeah, so what these participating manufacturers are also doing, which is absolutely incredible, is they're working with Grasso University to create manufacturer-specific installation training. So what that's going to provide to the dealer, the contractor that is working with that participating manufacturer is a whole video training series that installers and production can leverage that shows all the unique features and benefits of the panels that they want to install. It shows exactly how the manufacturer recommends they be installed, and that's going to be for ongoing education and support. So aside from all the opportunities for hands-on training by real people, you also have video training through these participating manufacturers to really reinforce and support exactly what it is they need to be doing to install these roofs properly. So we want to make sure, I mean, I call this stuff like lane assist, right? Is you get all the additional training up front, but then you have the video training series to keep you on track. It's like the lane assist to your car. And if there's anything you want to brush up on or reinforce or sharpen up on, whether you're a salesperson or an installer, you have all that right at the tip of your fingers 24/7 to be able to access. I think that's just a phenomenal thing that they've done. And several manufacturers have stepped up to the plate to make that happen for their dealers.
It's going to make such a big difference to the metal industry overall. I mean, to have this kind of collateral. And I have to say, we are sharing this on Metal Coffee Shop, right? So we're doing this and we're getting this information out there because to be in MetalView as a contractor, anybody who's watching that out there, you really do need to pick a participating manufacturer, get involved, do the training, use the EagleView Passport program. It just rockets you into that ability to sell metal roofing more than any program I've ever seen before.
Yep. Yeah, and that's the thing contractors need to feel secure about is, you're never going to get forced into doing any specific panel. Of course, through MetalView, if you look at all the different companies that are involved in technologies, there's a boatload of different companies involved with this. However, the contractor has the free will to select what services they feel they want, if they need help with lead generation, if they need help with sales or more customization or presentations. We've had, Heidi, contractors where they're part of the MetalView program, but then they saw what we did for metal roofing and they decide, I want Grasso to build us a presentation for windows or for asphalt roofing or whatever it is. So there's just all these different resources they can select as they see fit. They're not forced into any of them, but they will realize very quickly that through MetalView and through everything we've done here with these participating manufacturers, there's something that they can basically take advantage of that's going to help them with every pillar in their business. We want to give them the support from phone call to install and everywhere in between. That's really the name of the game. So,
and this MetalView program has brought all of these parts together. Everything that you need from the sales, the leads, like Dominic said, to the technology for the install, for educating your company, to making sure that, all the way through the warranty and the referral for that next job, everything is exactly where you need it and where you're going. But Dominic, I'm really kind of excited too. I think this is the time that it'd be fun to talk about your Jumpstart program, because I think that is so important for MetalView overall and for the contractors.
Yeah, so if you hear me talking about sales leadership and growing and scaling sales teams, one big mistake I see companies making is they try to get their salespeople to learn a new sales process, right? Something new maybe they've never done before. However, they first have not established the foundational elements that you have the presentation and all the roadmap, the additional tools you need to execute that sales process. Essentially putting the cart before the horse. So what we can do is, obviously this sales process is incredibly comprehensive. And by the way, I always like to refer to our sales process as a paint by numbers system. I don't know if you've heard that description before. Have you ever done a paint by numbers before?
Oh, I have, yes.
Yeah.
So now, if you asked me to paint something freehand on a canvas, it would look like a kindergartner tried to throw something down that you wouldn't even know what it is, right? However, if you give me a paint by numbers system, you got the canvas, you got all the sections outlined with the corresponding number, you match that number up with the color, and as long as you put the right color in the right box or the right section, you look back when you're done, you have a masterpiece. You don't have to be the greatest artist of all time to create masterpieces, right? So that's the exact same way our step selling sales process is. You don't have to be a natural born salesperson to execute this. I've had people from all walks of life become multi-million-dollar producers, people that have never done in-home selling before in their life, follow this step-by-step paint-by-number system, because what it does, it makes success predictable, replicatable, duplicatable, and anyone with the right attitude and work ethic can become an all-star salesperson. So with that in mind, we want to make sure that the in-home presentation that companies are presenting to their customer, first of all, it's really going to jive with that contractor's brand guidelines. I can't tell you how many times, Heidi, that we're working with these companies where you look at their website, it's decent, like it looks fairly attractive, and some of their marketing stuff looks good, but then the in-home presentation, it doesn't match their brand guidelines, the font is absolutely terrible, the quality of the video or the imagery they have in there is really terrible. So we feel that one of the most polished and professional tools that the customer should ever see is what that homeowner is experiencing with that masterful presentation. Because one thing you'll hear me say often, and this is one of the foundations of Grasso training, is the best close in the world is a masterful presentation. Well, again, a masterful presentation is everything that salesperson's doing and everything that salesperson's saying or presenting to them in the house. So we spend a lot of time working with contractors as a part of our Jumpstart program. We build an in-home presentation, and we can do it for any product. Obviously, we built one out for metal roofing that's included with the Sherwin-Williams MetalView program. But we've done it for literally any product you can think of under the sun. So we build the masterful presentation, and it goes in lockstep with our step selling system. So when you get sales training and you're learning the steps of the sale, the presentation is like that paint by numbers. It goes step by step with the step selling process. We provide a workbook, and that's what we did here, this Grasso Metal Roofing Academy workbook. It's literally the roadmap to the sale, has all the scripts in there. It has all the slides of the presentation and what the salesperson should say. So you got to be creative to mess this up when we're done. And then what we do with contractors is once we have your presentation built and once you have the book, these are tools that are only as good as how you use them. And a lot of these contractors are not confident enough or they don't understand it enough to do the training themselves. So we schedule a virtual training with their sales team. We record it on Zoom, and we take their whole sales team through this brand new presentation that we just created specific to their products and services and show them exactly how to go through it with the prospective customer. And then we record that, and what that becomes, Heidi, is a permanent sales training video series that they can use to train and onboard salespeople forever after. So now they have the roadmap to the sale with the workbook, they have the in-home demo, they have the video training on how to do it, and now there's no excuses. And what that does for sales leaders and owners, it prevents them from ripping their hair out because now they have a true foundation in which they can hold their sales team accountable. Because my favorite word in leadership is clarity. You have to have full clarity on exactly what the sales rep should be doing, exactly how to demonstrate this in the house. Otherwise, you have no way to hold anybody accountable, and then it's wild, wild west, right? So in a nutshell, that's what we do with that Jumpstart program, and it's incredibly popular.
I think that is really important too, because you may have, and we know we will, we're going to have a number of contractors, exterior contractors who are selling roofing, who maybe are selling windows, but selling metal or selling premium products, I'm sure the steps tweak just a little bit, right? Yep. You got to make sure that you are selling to your audience, to the type of product and that upsell.
Yeah, so every step to the sale is obviously has to be tailored for the product that you're offering, right? The thing I love about our sales process, truthfully, is the steps themselves don't change, but of course, how you execute every step does change based on the product that you're offering. But what I used to love about being a sales leader, because I ran Wisconsin's largest adult daycare center, also known as the sales team. I had 55 salespeople that I managed here in Wisconsin. And what I used to love, because I used to cross-train all different products. I've sold stone-coated steel roofing, tile roofing, standing seam, you name it, Galvalume, all these different things, along with all these other products. Once I had a salesperson train on the system, once they knew the sales process, in order to train them on a new product, it would only take 1 to 2 days to learn the product knowledge, how to price out the job correctly, and then they just plug that into the sales process and then go out there and absolutely slay it. And that's what's beautiful about it is once your sales team learns this, it's not just going to help them be more proficient at selling metal. This will help them sell anything that you offer as an organization. So if you do sell asphalt or if you do sell windows or baths or kitchens, whatever you offer, the sales reps mastering the sales methodology, the step selling process, it's going to make them a rock star at pretty much anything. So it's incredible value for whoever gets on board because they get that included with the whole MetalView program. So.
Well, and you know what? We should be letting people know how do they get involved with this, Dominic, because that's pretty important.
Yeah, exactly. So when you become a part of MetalView, and obviously, through the participating manufacturers, we're going to obviously pair you up with that manufacturer. But as soon as you become a part of it, Grasso University wants the opportunity to reach out to you to begin the customization process. And all our information is available through the MetalView program, how to contact us, where to reach us. Obviously, one of my first points of contact is Matthew Burke. So he's the guy that a lot of people talk to first and foremost. And then slowly but surely, we see exactly what your goals are, what your wants and needs are, and then we begin the customization process. Because with some contractors, we have to start from scratch and rebuild a whole new presentation. Some contractors already have a good presentation, and then we can just basically combine what we've built with their company story and what they're already doing. But in any case, it's important that we get in contact with that contractor at some point in the process so we can make sure that it's tailored specifically for their organization. But yeah, it's really simple to obviously get started with it and to begin working with us. All that information is going to be readily available, and of course, we can provide our contact information on this webinar for anyone that may be interested.
And what I would say too is, as you're looking at your business and you want to add metal into your business, no matter what you're doing right now, you could be a commercial roofing contractor, you could be an exteriors contractor, you could be a huge remodeler, right? But you want to deal and you want to get that metal out there. It's easy. You go to Metal Coffee Shop, get to the MetalView page, and we will get you to it, because your first step, and this is kind of cool, Dominic, I think the first step is to talk to Sherwin-Williams, and they want to talk to you. Mark McDonald is talking to contractors all over the country right now. Yeah. They will hold your hand, help you to get in touch or figure out who you want to work with as a participating manufacturer. And then they show you the list of all the resources, and Grasso's right at the top, because that's also with lead generation, with Spectrum. You kind of say, well, I need leads. Man, no, I'm pretty good right now, but I do need some sales training. Or maybe, okay, I need to get the technology to get into the Passport and to get the Eagle views for my bidding and estimating portion of it. All of that is available. You can pick and choose what you need in your business, because like you said, Dominic, some people already have great presentations, they have a great website, but maybe they just are looking for more leads and they really don't know how to bid or to measure for metal. So you can kind of pick those things around, but unless you have on the top thing you want, obviously leads and sales, and then back that up with some great installations.
Yeah, if you're out of leads, you're out of business. And one of the pain points a lot of companies have right now is the lead generation sources that were once very fruitful are not quite as fruitful as they once were. And right now is definitely the time to start investing in training, because in my opinion, we just got through the golden years of the home improvement industry in 2020, 2021. And now in 2022, it's not that things are going downward. I think they're just starting to settle back to normal, what they were before 2020, 2021. So contractors are realizing that now's the time I really need to get my sales team dialed in, get my marketing team dialed in. Because one thing I've noticed, and I'm certainly not accusing all contractors of this, but there's some contractors I've noticed where they got a little comfortable in the last 2 years with what they were doing, because they were having reasonable levels of success doing it the way they were doing it, even though it wasn't necessarily the right way.
Right.
And now they're seeing that that's not necessarily working anymore. And that's, again, to your point, whether you're looking at how can I generate more leads, and more important than that, better quality leads for my salespeople. How can I make sure that when I issue this precious lead to my salesperson, that they know how to go into that house and maximize every opportunity to its fullest potential? And then once they sell the job, how am I going to make sure that my crews are properly trained and my back-end support is where it needs to be? So in any one of those areas, you're going to get the hands-on attention and training and support you need. And going back to Mark McDonald, there's nobody better at explaining this whole process and making you feel totally secure. You're definitely in good hands. I mean, the moment you start talking to this guy, I mean, he's the most passionate person I've ever met in my life. And this is what makes it so easy to be a part of this, is it absolutely is groundbreaking, revolutionary. But he literally is going out of his way to make sure contractors have everything they need. And the training is first and foremost. Training is everything.
Is everything. And it is a changing world. It's changing. It's not only changing when you talk about adding a new type of product to your business, but it's changing in how we're going to market, what homeowners are looking for right now, how much research they're doing ahead of time. And we see that so much, Dominic. I didn't even mention we have our site Ask a Roofer, where we have homeowners and building owners coming in and asking questions every day about this. They're researching ahead of time. So your sales force needs to be knowledgeable, needs to understand, because a lot of those customers out there have already done their research. So we want to make sure we're giving you everything through Grasso, through Metal Coffee Shop, and then obviously through this Metal View program, which is revolutionary. I just have to say.
Yeah, and that's what more customers are demanding more than ever before, is that, first of all, they want a personalized experience. That's something that more people are looking for than ever, as they want to feel like they're getting a personalized and, well put together experience just for them, something unique. So we talked about the customers doing research. This part of the things we talk about in our training is the salesperson also needs to do their research. And with all the technologies we have at our disposal, you can almost know more about the home that you're going into than the homeowners themselves know, with all the technology and all the information. And you can come right out of the gate as an expert in your field and a trusted advisor that's going to take care of them. And that's increasingly important when you're selling something as sophisticated as metal roofing or more complex, is they got to be able to trust that their house is in good hands by a certified expert who knows what they're talking about. That's why the training is so important, not just on sales, but also product knowledge. One thing that I used to do commonly, Heidi, is I used to make sure my salespeople themselves went through robust product and installation training. And then they also visited job sites on a regular basis so they could talk intelligently about everything that's involved in our factory training, how the product's put on. Maybe there's some differentiating things we do in our installation to set us apart from chucking a truck.
Yes.
And then also, if you got these analytical or very sophisticated prospects that have done some research, maybe they have more questions. If you can't answer those confidently and assertively, they're going to steamroll right over you, right?
Yes.
So it's important that they become experts in their chosen profession. And this is, again, we're trying to provide the resources where salespeople and everyone in production can be truly an expert in what they're doing.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's great. And I'm just so happy to be working with you and your team at Grasso. Such amazing, just training, but education, and in such a way that really helps contractors and salespeople make the most out of be those huge producers, see success, grow their businesses. It's what we want for all of our contractors out there.
Yeah. And this is definitely my dream. It's been a dream of mine for a long, long time. And to have Sherwin-Williams and Mark McDonald feel confident enough in what we've built here and what we offer to bring us on board. Like I said, I couldn't be more grateful to be a part of this. But we'll literally bend over backwards and do cartwheels for the contractor to make sure that they have the tools they need to succeed. That's really what it's all about. And we're starting to get to that stage now with several companies where we're starting to get in front of them, and we're realizing that in order to make this transition to retail sales, that there's some sales leadership coaching that may be required, and we provide all of that. There's maybe some foundational. Maybe we help re-engineer the comp plan. If you're not sure, how do you pay your salespeople in a retail sale versus insurance? Right. How do you hold them accountable? Like, what does the lead handling etiquette look like? And as a sales leader or a business owner, how am I going to hold them accountable to a set standard of performance? How is that graded? How is that tracked? So we're helping these contractors build all these foundational elements, from policy, procedures, lead handling, compensation, anything they need to successfully launch this retail side of their business. Because there's a lot of little things that maybe they're not quite thinking about that we want to make sure are addressed up front. And like I mentioned earlier, it prevents them from ripping all their hair out. See, I learned the hard way. That's why I'm a lost cause right now. There's a lot of trial and error involved with my experience, but we try to get ahead of the game on that and minimize the road bumps or the blocks that could be in the way, from preventing them from having a very smooth and successful launch of this program. So
yeah. You've done a great job. I think when I look, the ability to come in and watch those videos, to be able to get the first start on metal roofing overall, and then work with the individual manufacturers on their specialized information, and then to be able to have, I know you, as you've worked with Sheridan Consulting on installation and starting, we have, I think we all are going to see a bunch of new videos coming out that way too. Because if the whole company can't embrace it and all parts be successful, then the program won't be successful. We know that.
Absolutely. No, and everybody is like just as enthusiastic as the next. I mean, everybody is just so supportive, so excited about the potential and opportunity. And the whole network is really a network of trailblazers and people that weren't afraid to get out there and take a risk. And not that we ever thought that this was going to be a risk, but you're definitely going to uncharted waters. Right. And from our standpoint, if I can be totally transparent, and this is probably why a lot of other training organizations would be afraid to tackle this, is when you have the in-home retail sales world colliding with the corporate world, they don't necessarily understand one another, right? There's a lot of different things that we both do, and we have to be able to work through all that, all those differences, and make sure we both mutually understand each other's position to be able to create the most professional and robust sales training program we can. But it's also, compliant with that corporation's guidelines and legalities and all this stuff. Is definitely a challenging lift. But thankfully, everyone was very patient with us. There's some things that we had to tweak and fine tune along the way. I call it failing forward. I'm always like a heat-seeking missile, kind of failing forward through life. But what we've been able to filter out is, I feel, is the best of both worlds. And it's an incredible finished product the way it turned out. And the support has been there from the very beginning with the Sherwin-Williams team, not just Mark McDonald, but everybody is a part of the Sherwin-Williams team. And then as we're getting down to the manufacturer level, they've been absolutely phenomenal to work with. So
it's great. It's great. Well, thank you, Dominic. This has been awesome. I love it. And I love the fact that we can share all of this with all of you out there. I mean, this can be on both of our platforms. So it's going to be on Grasso. It's going to be on Metal Coffee Shop. We just want people to really get into it, understand it, have all the information you need. And I have to say, Dominic, we're going to have you come on to Metal Coffee Shop next. And you're going to be on there on our new Metalcast program, our Metal Talk, which is our webinars. We've got all kinds of new programs that are coming out that will continue to help with this education.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the opportunity. It's obviously great working with you, and you've been incredibly supportive. Everything you guys are doing there at Metal Coffee Shop and, of course, Roofer Coffee Shop. Anything I can do to add value to the audience, that's obviously why we're here, and that's the least that we hope to be able to achieve here. So we definitely love it. And, in terms of anybody that wants to reach us, of course, we're all over YouTube, the internet, but you can go to grossuniversity.com. If you're looking to email us or reach us out directly, we'll put the email for Matthew Burke on the screen. It's mburke@grossuniversity.com. That's mburke@grossuniversity. He's kind of our first point of contact. If anyone wants to reach out to us to learn more about what we do and how to enroll in all these different programs, we'd be happy to sit down and have a conversation and show you how we can help.
It sounds great. And same thing, metalcoffeeshop.com. Easy. If you're already in roofing, rooferscoffeeshop.com. You can find all this information there. You can find the Grasso directory. You can find all a lot of the videos from all the partners in MetalView, and some pretty cool new MetalView charts. So you can kind of get that big picture of what's happening. Heidi at rooferscoffeeshop.com. I'm always available to everyone who have questions. We're here to just help the contractors, help them build their business and add more metal.
Excellent. So what I'll do here, Heidi, usually at the end of every Grasso webinar, this is a pre-recorded webinar for those of you tuning in. Of course, you know that already. We're going to leave a few minutes at the end of our webinar, the live stream version, for some Q&A, where Heidi and I will be able to answer any questions you may have directly off the cuff. But in terms of this, I just want to say thank you once again for the opportunity. It's been a great conversation. Look forward to being on your podcast. I'm really looking forward to it. So
we love it. Thank you so much for having us. I'm honored. Thank you.
Thank you as well. Take care of yourself. We'll talk soon.
Okay.